If you watched cartoons in the 90s or early 2000s, then you're probably familiar, at least in small part, with the DC Animated Universe. That's right, way before Marvel paved the path with the Marvel Cinematic Universe on the silver screen, and even way before DC tried it again with the Arrowverse, DC Comics connected multiple shows in one overarching continuity. It was amazing, and today, let's dive in and take a look at it. The DCAU is sometimes called the Timmverse, thanks to the heavy involvement of the father of the universe, writer, character designer, and animator Bruce Timm. The show that started it all was Batman the Animated Series in 1992, and was joined by Superman the Animated Series in 1996. Also included is the follow-up to the Batman series, The New Batman Adventures, Batman Beyond, and its spin-off title, The Zeta Project. Then came Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, a childhood favorite of mine, Static Shock, and a couple of web series in the form of Gotham Girls and Lobo. There's also several comic book series that take place in this continuity that are severely overlooked, and even give more backstory for some of its characters. Honestly, it's a bit insane just how much content is packed into the DCAU. Now, there's probably a few of you out there wondering why I didn't mention Teen Titans. Well, this might surprise you, but the Teen Titans TV show takes place in its own continuity, despite running while the DCAU still had shows on the air at the same time. Fun fact though, the 2003 Static Shock episode titled A League of Their Own makes a reference to the Titans before the show even came out.
So where's Robin?
With the Titans.
The who?
You'll meet him someday.
This seems to imply that the cartoon was initially intended to be in the animated universe, but it could also simply be implying that the universe has its own version of the team. In fact, years prior, there was a DCAU version of the Teen Titans that was proposed, but ultimately rejected. There were also a few more rejected series that evolved into something new entirely. The first was an incarnation of the Justice League of America, with a roster completely different than the one that we got in 2001. This team would have given lesser-known characters a spotlight, including Mr. Miracle, Dr. Fate, Vixen, The Question, Nightshade, Black Lightning, Supergirl, Light Ray, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, Black Canary, and Green Arrow. The only proposed character to make the final show was Hawkgirl, but many of the other characters were brought on for Justice League Unlimited in 2004. This 90s Justice League was scrapped when the team decided to dedicate themselves to creating Batman Beyond, which, let's be real, was a pretty smart move. Then, there was Lobo. Believe it or not, this guy was a huge deal back in the day. He was ultra-violent, crude, and even had a healing factor. Sounds familiar. Anyway, the Lobo animated series actually got a decent amount of production done on it before it was cancelled due to concerns over its mature content. It can only be assumed that a lot of the work on the series carried over to the, interesting Lobo web series. The DC Animated Universe was monumental in how entire generations were first exposed to DC Comics' roster of characters. So it's no surprise that even as the TV show stopped being produced, fans did not want to see it go. Thankfully, we got to see the DCAU, or at least a universe similar to it, live on in the comics as Earth 12. First appearing in the Event 52, Earth 12 is set 50 years ahead of the main DC Comics continuity in the era of Batman Beyond. It's implied that this universe is the same as the DCAU, but truth be told, we don't know too much about it. What's strange though is that we get brief glimpses of a couple of new characters in Earth 12, Firestorm and a new Green Lantern, the latter being Hal Jordan's grandson and not Kai-Ro, who was established to being the Green Lantern during the time of Batman Beyond. A few years later, the DC Multiverse was restructured after the Flashpoint event. As a part of this, DC got itself a brand new set of realities that can be seen on DC's map of the multiverse. Now, there's a brand new Earth 12, this time without the hyphen. The new Earth 12 resembles the DCAU much more than its previous incarnation, so much so that this reality is nearly identical. They even went so far as to officially give the totalitarian version of the Justice League, the Justice Lords, a spot in the multiverse as Earth 50, directly opposite of Earth 12. Unlike most of the 52 universes, Earth 12 hosted quite a bit of content with a lot of the recent Batman, Superman, and Justice League Beyond series, but even it was abandoned in favor of something else. See, in 2014, DC Comics released Future's End, a series set not only in an alternate timeline to the main continuity, but 5 years ahead of it. To make things more complicated, they introduced a new Batman Beyond, and with it, a new future that looks incredibly similar to what we've seen on Earth 12, but at the same time, also completely different. Because of this, DC has pretty much abandoned telling Earth 12 stories in favor of producing them in the Future's End setting, despite it being drastically different from what we've seen in the DCAU. The craziest thing is that Earth 12 hasn't even gone anywhere. As far as we know, the multiverse map is still accurate. So, in a way, the DC animated universe still lives on, but ultimately ignored and possibly forgotten. And that's just sad. Regardless, the DCAU is one of the single most iconic and most influential things that DC Comics has ever produced, and its influence has repercussions all over its entire multiverse. Without it, we wouldn't have gotten characters like Harley Quinn, or Terry McGinnis, or Livewire, or Condiment King. Seriously, he's one of my favorites. I might have to do a video on him sometime down the road. He's a bad guy that only uses condiments. And hey, when researching this episode, I found a lot more information on even more canceled DC Comics cartoons and even other animated projects. So if you'd like me to do a video on that, then just leave a comment down below or tweet me at TrailerDrake. But if you're watching this right now, I want to give you a personal thank you. Thank you for watching this video to completion. If you've been watching my videos before, thank you for watching those. If this is your first video of mine, then hey, thank you for getting this far. I really would appreciate if you considered subscribing. I try to work pretty hard on these, and I just want to entertain you guys and educate y'all in the crazy, crazy world of comics. I also want to give a super special thank you to all of you guys who are supporting me on Patreon. It's because of you guys that I'm able to do what I do, so thank you so much. If you're not already, I would appreciate if you at least took a look at what my Patreon has to offer, and I can probably make these videos even higher quality and more often with your support. So, thank you all so much. You don't have to be contributing financially in order to help. Just your view, your support, sharing this with your friends means a lot. So thanks. Okay, bye.